Hello, viewers at home. Maarten here again from the Fellowship of Acoustics. But today we're in a different setting. We're at the Metropool, Jack Daniels Zaal?
Stage.
Jack Daniels stage.
The small stage.
Yeah.
In the beautiful city of Hengelo. We always do this podcast with Leif, of course, but his bandmate Sem Janssen has joined us today. For the ones watching, good for you. For the ones listening, I'd really advise you to watch this one because we're going to have some fun with the rig rundown later. And because we're recording this pre-show, I'd like to make the main topic of this podcast about live shows and about touring and band life and
Super
whatever.
cool.
So, I'm curious, what does the build-up to a show like this look like for you guys?
Well, I think we start with writing the songs, of course, and mainly we write in a concept of an album. So we play some songs of the last album, and usually what we are searching for in songs is songs with some freedom to improvise and to play cool guitar solos, cool key solos, and so it's mainly that's the main vibe for us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so and that's in the tradition of Little Feat, the Allman Brothers Band, like the good old stuff.
So the entire tour is kind of set in stone. You pick the songs and set list beforehand, and then every show is the same?
No, most of the time we write the set list backstage, like 5 minutes before we have to go up.
Have you written it now?
Not
no,
yet.
we have to do it after recording the podcast. Maybe the boys backstage are doing it right now, but I don't think so. Most of the time it's a last minute thing, writing the set list. And that's also fun because we like to keep the songs with as much freedom as we can to have a lot of space for improvisation. And at a certain point we did have like a set list for a couple of shows. And then at a certain time, it kind of starts to get too standard, or like I don't want to say boring because it's never boring, but yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, the first 3 songs are always the same, and then you're kind of like not paying attention anymore. So then we switched it around, and we actually felt that the songs that we used to play as the first 3 songs, all of a sudden we played it way differently because they were in different places in the set list, which is also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we switch it around mostly.
Yeah, and but I think mostly this tour we have a certain amount of songs, and it's just sometimes we play a song, we skip one song or we add one, but we have, I think we can play 10 more songs or something like that we can switch around.
Yeah.
But we have to check it out always if we want to do a song that we haven't played for 1.5 years or something.
Yeah.
That's the way we do it. But we like to keep it organic.
Yeah,
like
I get the feeling from you guys.
Yeah.
And if we zoom into a specific show like this, will you always rehearse before a show?
No.
Basically never. No, we rehearse before we go to the studio to record the songs, and we rehearse when we're writing the songs, and then we actually never rehearse. We do have sound check. So like, for instance, you today you said, maybe we can play this one song by Warren Haynes again, because we used to play it and it would be fun, and then we just do that with the sound check to check out if we still know how to play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to play it?
Then we check it out for the next show. Then we sound check it again, and then
So the entire tour, no rehearsals?
No.
Okay.
No.
Damn.
No. Just play the songs.
Keep it organic.
Yeah, and for this tour we don't have a keyboard player like one guy. We have different keyboard players. So every show is different because we have a different keyboard player on stage. Right now, this evening we have Quint Vullings on stage, and he is super cool, and he has like a more kind of a 60s vibe, and he just plays the Hammond.
Sound based. It's really cool.
But we also play with Stan de Kwaadseniet. He's a really cool guy, and he plays more, I think, more on the Rhodes and on the Wurlitzer.
Yeah,
and
he plays the clavinet.
Yeah, the clavinet. He brings it with a wah-wah, so that's super funky. And
you don't even mind switching that up, like instrument-wise.
No, it's fun.
It's fun. And
it makes us do different things as well. You know, you're always listening like, oh, what's the keyboard guy doing? Okay, then I'm going to have to play something else because otherwise we're doing the same, you know? Or it doesn't match or that kind of stuff. It keeps it fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does this principle relate to the gear you bring as well? You'll just pick it on the fly, pick it before the show? Or is the gear set in stone as well? Do you have specific sound set? Do you bring specific guitars, specific amps?
Well, for me personally, I like to bring a one or two good Gibson style guitars. So for this tour, I have a Flying V that I really like, and it's just the setup, the sound, it's perfect. And I also have an Explorer for this show, and I bought it I think 2 months ago, and I'm still getting used to it. But it's a very cool guitar. It's a little bit louder. It's a higher output. There are lower imperial pickups in there, so it's a little different. And then I have the harmony guitar. I use it for slide.
We heard.
So that's like what I brought for the show, but mainly a good Gibson will do the trick for me. And then with the amps, I play through a brown face amp, an old one, and that's something I really like. I like the old Fenders, and I have like a small tweed amp, and the brown face and the tweed. It's just a perfect match for me.
Yeah, we'll probably get to those. At the big rundown.
Yeah, and that's I will play it, and you will hear it's a super sweet sound, but usually it's set but I have two brown face amps, and one is this is the Pro amp, and I also have a concert amp. But the concert amp is broken right now, so I brought the Pro amp, and if the concert is not ill anymore, I will bring it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you did switch it around, because you only bought the Explorer like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And before that, you also had like, I think 2 humbucker style guitars.
Yeah.
I'm not even remembering which one you had back then.
I also I have an old melody maker that I sometimes bring to the show. It's a very cool one with the mini humbuckers.
Yeah.
But it's a little softer, because they have the output of the mini humbuckers is a little bit less than the Flying V, so it's a little bit more challenging, I think, to match it. But yeah,
why would you bring it then? Just have some fun?
Because I have a lot of guitars and I like to play them. So yeah, and it's always inspiring to bring different guitars to gigs, because it will also make you play different. So that's mainly for me switch it around a little bit. But a good Gibson is the recipe for a good evening for me.
Essential.
Yeah.
Are you the same in that, Sam?
Yeah, pretty much. I mainly take like 2 Gibson style guitars. I play on an SG, and I play a 70s Les Paul, which has mini humbuckers. It has a lower output, so I'm also the same thing you were describing with the melody maker. It's a bit of a challenge sometimes, but right now I mostly start with the Les Paul, and then as the show goes on, most people in the band start playing a little bit louder. It kind of like, so then I switch over to the SG, and that kind of works for me.
Yeah.
And it's also nice to always have a backup guitar, because things can break down, you know. And then I have one guitar that's tuned a whole step down. And today that's the Dan Electro, but I also sometimes take a Harmony Roy Smack that I bought from Leif, which is a nice guitar, and that's mainly, I would call it like the vibes guitar, because I don't play the twin leads on it. It's just for like a nice slagje. Strumming. It's for nice strumming, and it has a certain vibe that's nice.
Yeah.
It's more of a low end guitar, but yeah, it's nice.
But you picked the guitars this morning, then, I imagine.
Well, the Les Paul and the SG were still in the band van, so I asked them to take those, and then I was like, okay, am I gonna take the Electro, or am I gonna take the Harmony? And then today I chose the Electro.
Mm-hmm. Not regretting it?
No, it's nice. It's nice. I was just playing, and I was like, oh yeah, this one's nice too. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also the thing. You play a lot of rhythm guitar, and with the rhythm guitar, you can just bring funky stuff because
it's nice.
because it's more about attack and more about not having sustain that much.
Yeah.
Like if you play a guitar solo, a twin lead like we do a lot, then it's you will need sustain. But
you don't want to do that on those guitars that I bring.
That's really challenging. But that's really nice. And for me, it's also with the harmony guitar. I like to play slide on it because it doesn't. Because if I don't play slide on it and I do a lot of bends and stuff, it has so much dead spots on the neck that it's not a guitar for like Gilmore-ish kind of bands, the boomer bands, but it's very nice to play like old jazz stuff on it or blues stuff, and stuff with a lot of attack is just great on it, and the slide because you avoid the dead spots on the neck, so that really works.
You sometimes even change it mid-song.
Yeah.
Like after the slide solo, I see him walking away and coming back with a different guitar, you know?
Yeah.
Because then there's also always space for like a keyboard solo, or I'm starting to sing and he can just switch the guitar.
Yeah.
Then
and
you
the band will just
like,
switch it up. You don't. There aren't set rules for this. Like after the solo, Leif will get a different guitar. It'll just happen.
No, and that's like that's great about this. About this formation is we have 6 people on stage, so you can also choose to not play, which can be very nice as well. Like you just have one guitar, one drummer, and then when everybody's playing, you will have a lot of power. But if everybody's playing all the time, it doesn't feel powerful anymore.
Yeah.
No, for instance, when you start like a guitar solo and it's only Leif playing the guitar and you have a bass guitar and you have the drummers playing just a little bit, and then during the solo I join with the guitar and the keyboard player joins and the drummers start playing louder, then it's like epic, you know? And if we all play all the time, that never happens. Then it's just a lot of noise all the time.
Yeah. I think it's quite a strength of the band you guys have, to be honest. It's very dynamic and a bit epic as well. Is it something you've worked really hard on? Or is it just something that came to be?
Well, this way of playing, it really started for us with doing an Allman Brothers tribute. We did that the first time in 2018. And the music of the Allman Brothers band is like improvisation all the way. These old recordings, everybody was... They just played what they were feeling at the moment. In just a certain song, and that's something we also had to do during that tour, and we developed a way of doing that during the tour, I guess. And then I remember in the middle of the tour we had just a show with our own stuff, and then we expanded the band with a drummer and a keyboard player. Before that we were just playing with the 4 of us. So in the middle of the tour we played a show with the 4 of us, and it was like, no, this ain't working anymore.
You don't have any freedom.
Yeah.
Because once we play with the 4 of us and I stop playing, it's like weird or something, you know? Yeah. It's like, it didn't work when we just played with the four of us. So
so it was a different band. I feel like it. So
we also made really different musical choices.
Yeah.
And I think when starting to play the Allman Brothers music, for the first time we played it like they did, kind of. We also did it in our own way, and then you know what it feels like to like stop playing and leave some space open and that kind of stuff. And after a while, you get used to it and you can implement it to whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Was it a big lesson for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or did you always realize it?
No, it was a big lesson for us. It was like really weird to feel that musical freedom.
Yeah.
Like after all these years of playing our own stuff, but it was super cool lesson, and also with the Allman Brothers music you have to play long solos.
Yeah.
So you also have to find ways of keeping it interesting all the time. So for example, Jessica by the Allman Brothers, we still play it because it's such a epic song, it's such a iconic song, and people love to hear us play it. And if you are playing that guitar solo, if you play it for like 1 minute, then it's not epic anymore. So you have to give some length and some build up to it. And during that first Allman Brothers tour, I really had to rediscover my own playing and finding ways of making little themes into your solo. And so starting off with a lick and then repeating it, and then going to a higher place on the neck, and then maybe going back and to stay there a little while low on the neck, and then eventually you have to get to the highest note. But the longer you push it forward to not play that high note, the more exciting it will actually get, because there's tension and there's push and pull from the band. And sometimes you play something and the drummers can follow it and play an accent to it, but sometimes they just don't do it. They do their own stuff, but it's exciting and it's a different way of playing. And also when I teach my students at the conservatory about improvisation, they usually don't have a vision of how to play a cool guitar solo, and a cool guitar solo has like great like themes and stuff.
You're basically writing verses.
Yeah, you're writing verses and choruses and stuff like that. So
what's the thought process then if you're building up to a solo or playing a solo that needs to go to this very high moment? Is there something you relate to, like a singer or anything?
For me personally, it's I think of the end of the solo. Where do I want to go? And usually, if I'm improvising, I'm always trying to find catchy stuff during my playing. And so, for example, if I play boop 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 boom, that's a cool lick. I just stay there. Do 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 do. And then you can repeat that again, and then you play it on a higher place on the neck, for example, and then it becomes a catchy theme. And then the audience will be like, okay, if somebody is playing for the same stuff for a long time, the audience will think, okay, what's next? You know, and that's a good question to have as an audience. So then you're wondering, okay, what's coming next? What's coming next? And then there's a new thing coming, and then that's cool. And then the new thing is you're playing, you're also repeating it, and then they're what's it gonna do next? And then if you have like an element of surprise all the time, then the solo won't get boring. But
plus, there's a lot happening apart from your solo. Because we can, as I said, we can start with a very minimal band behind you, and it can build up, and they start doing way more and more. If you see what the drummers are doing at the end of a solo, you could only focus on that, and it's already interesting, you know? So I think when we used to play with the four of us, especially within that Allman Brothers tour, exactly at the moment in which you would think, now we need more, we couldn't do it when it was just the four of us, and now we can always do more.
Yeah, we can always do more.
With the six of us.
That's super cool,
I can imagine that,
But also today, I was listening with our sound guy, Rowan. We were listening to Van Halen in the car. And we were listening to Hot for Teacher. And when he's playing that solo, there's just drums and bass and just a really cool... He's just playing a super cool guitar solo, and there's no rhythm guitar, and it's actually so exciting to hear like emptiness behind that guitar. So so it's a different way of playing. And if you listen to the old Cream stuff, that's also, there's no rhythm guitars, which is also super cool. But we can actually have no rhythm guitar and add it later. So you always have the choice. So that's super cool, and it's easier. It's easier to have like stuff behind you when you're playing. So
does it make for any moments on stage where you look at each other like, oh, Sam, not now, or Leif, come on, what are you doing? Or is it all locked in generally?
No, not really. Sometimes the bass player tells me after the show, like, you should wait longer to add the guitar because it's cool when the guitar's not there, you know, and then it's nicer when the guitar is there. And sometimes, because nothing is said, I sometimes think, okay, this might be the place in which I'm starting to play the guitar because, I've waited a while. We've had a few rounds of solo without it. And then it is a day in which the solo is like twice as long as it normally is.
Yeah.
So I'm too early. But I'm never going to know when the solo is going to end. So, when am I going to, sometimes the timing's perfect and sometimes
it isn't.
I'm too early or too late because we never know how long the solo is going to be. But so you just do it as you feel it. And maybe most of the time you all feel the same. Maybe sometimes the bass player feels it differently than I do. And then he thinks, you're too early. Yeah,
Would you say that falls into the same category as Leif said with surprising the audience?
That I'm surprising the bass player? Or what,
well,
what do you mean?
if you're not playing guitar and you're waiting for the right moment to come in, are you trying to surprise the audience, try to give them something new at that stage?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think they might realize it less than with, they're all focusing on the lead guitar, I think, most of them. So they realize it less when you do it, but I do think they feel it.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, it's like a lift that they feel. And what it is exactly, they might not always know, but it definitely works that way. It gives more energy and it makes, people kind of go crazy when you all do that as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see tonight if they go really crazy.
We hope so.
I've went really crazy before one of your shows, so it definitely works.
That's cool. That's cool to hear, man.
And you guys obviously record records as well.
Yeah.
How would you say playing a live show affects the music and the performance you're delivering? Is it way different than what you'll be doing in the studio?
Not really.
No.
Usually when we go into the studio, we just play it live and then we add some stuff later on. Like I remember we have a song Lone Star.
Yeah.
And that's a song with a long twin guitar solo. And then I remember I just played my part. I prepared for the twin solo. I just played it live with the band, and then we added your part later. Yeah,
because it was better for me to keep playing the rhythm guitar and then later change my sound for the lead part.
Yeah.
And with a live recording, my rhythm part would just disappear because I'm doing the lead.
Yeah.
But
I also think like we added some acoustic guitar, we added some keys later, and we added some
the vocals, of course.
Some the vocals and the twin, but it still has that cool live vibe and stuff. So that's it isn't.
And I think with the playing, you always have to be like a bit on edge when you want to play it well. And I think with a live performance like we do tonight, you have the audience, so that's kind of like the thing that you do it for, the tension that you feel. But I think in the studio, most of the time, like adrenaline, that kind of stuff, And I think most of the time when we record in the studio, it's still all quite new.
Yeah.
So we're all really focused because we don't rehearse a lot. And that kind of works. I think we have the same attention that we need to play it in the studio and live.
Yeah.
But that's also, I heard Jason Isbell, the great guitar player and singer-songwriter, he just plays the song before his band, and he just plays and everybody's making notes, and then they are just playing it in the studio live.
Yeah.
And just with like their first impression of the song, which is kind of nice. I think I believe that works.
Yeah, it sounds really fresh, and then you can always play it a lot and play it on tour and then change it around completely. But that's also nice and surprising for the audience that they have like the recording, and maybe if you would have recorded it 2 weeks later, it would have been different. But a recording is always just one moment that you put on a CD or a vinyl. So I think it's nice that it changes over time, actually.
Yeah. Does the energy of a crowd change anything in that? Will a song progress in a tour? Will it change significantly?
Not. The song won't change, but the way we are playing it will change.
Yeah,
that's something. And also with sometimes you add little stuff. We have some little twin parts that we are. Sometimes Sam recognizes something I play, and then it just starts to play my lick, and then I play it on a higher place on the neck. Then we have a twin lead, so that sometimes happens, but it's usually on the fly.
Yeah. That's just, you hear something and you start playing with it, and then sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
But sometimes it will become a part of the show, like in the middle of where I'm heading. That's a song from not the last one, but the one before the album, and there's like a part in the middle.
In the middle of your guitar solo,
yeah,
I believe.
and there's like it's a build-up lick. So, and we played as a twin lead, and I switched to a different place on the neck, so it will change over 4 times. So, and then we are higher energy at the end of that, so the band will know like, okay,
we're going to the second level.
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of
and the
works.
audience will know as well, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. And we have a few songs from the new album that you kind of made like live arrangement for.
Yeah.
For instance, with like breaks in which every band member has a little solo, that kind of stuff. And it's not on the album, but we do it live.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like arranged because that always happens, you know?
Yeah.
Except for when I forget my verse, like last gig.
Yeah, but that's also exciting because you have to fix it and you have to respond to the stuff that's happening on stage.
And why choose for certain breaks in a live version? Does it get the audience riled up?
Yeah, but it's like we have a song Hard to Hold, and there are some breaks in it, and everybody can play a little solo, and then after the breaks we are switching to a epic twin guitar solo.
Yeah, so it has like a huge build up. We most of the time play that song at the end of the show, so it's kind of like, you know, like the end song of a musical. Everyone comes on stage again and gets a little solo and gets a round of applause. You know, that it just works, and it's nice to have every band member be like in the spotlight in one of the last songs.
Yeah. Do you guys still get nervous before playing a show?
Sometimes, but maybe like last summer we played at Boss Pop.
Yeah,
so it was a big one. And it was a super special one. We also had Birgit Lewis, a special guest at the show, and a lot of people, and it was just really big. And we remember like Toto was sound checking in the morning, but virtually. So there was nobody. There was just a recording from the night before.
Okay.
So it was really weird and we saw like Luke's guitars and stuff like that, and so we were like, oh man, this is way too big for us. So it felt like that, but it was super cool.
But I think it's not like the kind of nervousness where you get like a tummy ache or you feel bad. It's more like we all got a bit too excited, you know. We got a bit annoying, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's like a happy nervousness. Yeah.
And does it depend on the size, or is it different things as well?
I think whenever something's new, you know, tonight we know what we can expect. We've played in these kind of rooms before. We've actually played in this room before. But I think, for instance, with Boss Pop, it's like so big, we don't really know what to expect. You want to do it well because it's like one step up from what we have been doing. And I think I had it as well when we were in the studio to do the recordings for our new live album. Yeah. Because then you just know we're going to play the show once in the evening and one time in the afternoon. Yeah. And that's going to be an album. So we have to do it well, you know?
Yeah. That puts a pressure on you.
Yeah, that puts pressure on you.
And also
definitely.
The audience who bought a ticket for the show, we promised them to send a record, so we really have to put it out.
We really have to make it.
Yeah. And even if it's shit, you'll have to release it as well. You promised them.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's. I think when you're on edge a little bit, good shit will come.
Yeah, it's good.
It works. It works. And also when I listen back to the recordings, it just sounds really nice, and it sounds really. The band is just playing. Everybody knows what they are doing, but it's like, oh, we have to do it right this time.
Yeah.
So that's really it works. It's really cool.
You guys have been playing gigs for a couple of years now, I imagine, maybe even more than a couple of years. How important is playing live shows in the current musical landscape, would you say?
I think it's maybe the most important thing for a lot of artists. Yeah. Like you can actually make a living out of playing music with live shows, and of course you can make a living with songwriting, and you can make a living with streams. It's harder. But people will always come to live music. I think like there's no substitution for for a great live show. People want to see and feel like the energy of the band or the artist they love.
Yeah.
For me as well, like every time Jason Isbell comes to the Netherlands, I want to see him because I love his music and I adore him. And there's not a just seeing somebody live perform their stuff and bringing their art all around the world. That's something really special, I believe. So I think it won't disappear and it will stay important.
Yeah. Well, it seems like sometimes musicians can be very focused on getting the new Music Friday out and getting the right Instagram algorithm, getting all this right.
Yeah. And
would you say if you want to get your music in the world, just get playing?
Yeah, it's different for all kinds of genres. Like if you're making pop music, yes, that might be important, but for us it's like we have a reputation of playing good live music. And that's like everybody says, if you want to get to know the band, just go see a show. But
I think it's all connected and it depends on what you want as a band. I think for us, playing live is the most important thing.
Yeah,
it's the thing why we started this in the first place. And for me, it kind of feels like the albums we make, we do it for our audience because they like to listen to it. They like to support us, which is very, very nice. And if we, for instance, would be able to play a lot on the radio or have a lot of streams, that would be beneficial for our live shows because then probably even more people would come, for instance. So I would mostly look at that as like a promotional thing.
Yeah.
That's mostly it. So because it is about the live shows and everything around it kind of supports that.
Mm-hmm. Are there any goals you guys have for this project in general, for the Leif De Leeuw band? You just said that you might want to get more people at the shows. Would that be something you guys would like?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not about getting famous, but just keep on playing. Like we have a lot of shows in Germany, and we would like to expand that. Yeah. And just to be able to make like a full living out of it, that would be amazing.
Yeah. And it would also make like some things easier, I think. If we would be able to eventually play the big rooms in places like this and have it full, then we would also be able to afford more, And then I'm not talking about guitars because we're very okay in that department. But just okay everything that we have to do with the band, Yeah.
But also we have some nice stuff coming up. We just recorded the live album in the studio. Cool. And that's going to be a really, really cool release. And we're going to do it next year. But we are also touring together with Birgit Lewis. We are doing a tour together. So it's like Birgit Lewis featuring Leif De Leeuw band. And that's we're going to do it in January and February.
Cool.
And then we are playing all the big rooms in the venues in the Netherlands. And so that might be a cool step up also for us. But it's mostly just a really cool ride so far. So like the stuff with Birgit is super fun. We are writing songs together with her. We're doing it as with the three of us, with Sem, Birgit, and me. And then we are playing the songs live on the road, like in January and February. That's super nice and just a really fun experience. And then in the future, we'll see.
I think as long as we just keep going the way that we have been going, because I think we started like 13 years ago with the two of us, and it's always been like small steps up.
Yeah.
And it's always been steady, and it's always become just a little bit more. So I think if we can keep on doing that, that's perfect.
What's the highlight so far? If there is one.
Well, I guess the whole ride.
Yeah.
Just like that we are able to do this, like to play.
And we can keep on doing it.
Yeah, we can keep on doing it,
and that, for instance, we made it through the entire pandemic, still playing whenever we could, and people would still book us. So I think we're very lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That puts it together, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very wholesome of you guys. Very wholesome. I think for the last question, this one is always burning at the Volkshome. What's on your rider?
What's on the rider? Well, we have a boring rider.
Yeah, it's
we
very
have
boring.
Apples, oranges.
We have
Yes.
yes, some fruit. Some beer without alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Just some, because we are all driving home, so that's like.
And we're all working.
Yeah.
So, you know.
It's like we are not that kind of rock and roll. We're just.
And then we have cocaine. No, I'm just kidding. We have some snacks, I think.
Some snacks. And
then one of the most boring things is that our rider says that we want to have a fresh meal with plenty of vegetables.
Yeah.
It specifically says that.
Yes. So because we don't want to get like fries and a burger everywhere we go. You know. Yeah.
I remember one time when we were touring in Germany. At the first night, Tim and I, the drummer, and I, we were like ordering a burger on the menu, and then because we were like, oh yeah, we're on tour and we were just feeling like, let's get some nice food, and then. The 4 nights after that night, we just got the burgers everywhere. So at the 5th night, we were like, oh no, and we did burger again. So it was like,
we need to have like proper food, because if we want to keep doing this, we have to keep a little bit healthy.
Yeah. And is there any specific pre-show ritual you'll do with the band or by yourself?
Yeah, like hurrying and write the set list.
Hurrying and write the set list. Yeah. No weird voodoo kind of stuff.
No.
Just play a cool show.
Okay.
With the right mindset and just be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like be there for the audience and be there like with a sharp mind, and that's the give all you got that evening. So that's the goal.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Should we go to the rig rundown?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yes.
Woo! Hey guys, we move from the table to the stage. It's a bit tight, but we'll make it work, I'm sure. We're gonna have a quick look through Leif's gear. Would you mind kicking us off with the guitars?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe with this killer Explorer.
Well, this is my newest acquisition. It's a cool Explorer from 98. And it's a super cool limited edition guitar, and it just sounds really, really great. It sings really beautifully. And I have some Lola Imperials in there. They sound really cool, but I'm still getting used to them because they're a bit stiff sometimes. But I kind of like them. They have a nice sparkle, and they're really loud. So, but
Let's go.
Yeah, it's super cool. You want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Super cool guitar.
Nice.
Just really, and I just really like the way it looks. It's one of the coolest models from Gibson, I think, and it's just a super special guitar, and also acoustically, it has a nice ring, so that's super cool. And for this show, I also have a really cool. Maybe you can hand me this one.
Yes, I can.
So this is a really cool from the same year. It's also from 98.
So mahogany body as well, just as this one?
Yeah, and I believe this one is from, I looked up the serial numbers. It's from December 8th. And this one is from October 8th. So so this one is 2 months younger. And it's a really cool one. And I believe this one has a Brazilian rosewood fretboard. So I looked it up like on the serial number gear page kind of stuff on the internet, and it shouldn't be Brazilian rosewood, but
we discussed this earlier. You say you can feel if it's Brazilian rosewood.
And I feel it, and it's and it has the typical Brazilian rosewood grain. So if anyone at home knows if it's possible. Yeah. It's just a really cool guitar, and this one has like a Monty PAF in the bridge, and it has a vintage T-top in the neck.
Oh yeah,
like a 70s Gibson humbucker, and
I put a Faber bridge and tailpiece on it, and it's just a really weird.
Because otherwise it wouldn't stay in tune, or?
No, it's lighter material, so it has like it will resonate a little bit more and give like the vibrations from the strings better to the body. It just works really well. It's just a super cool guitar, and I think I played so much on it. It's just perfect.
You want to play it now for us?
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit
of a switch.
The old Texas switch up.
Yes, and it will. Oh, they're mine, so it's okay. It's okay. So it will sound a little bit softer. Just a really, really cool flying V, and it's a super special one. And I changed nothing on the sound, so you can hear the difference. Like it's a little more bright, a little bit more open, I believe. But the neck is a little thinner. But it's just a special one.
Is there something about the V and maybe the Explorer as well for you that's different to any other double humbuckered guitar?
Yes, I think like a Les Paul. I love Les Pauls. Let's start with that, but they can be a little bit heavy on the bottom end, and I think like the Flying V has like the perfect mids or something. Like there's not that much low end and not that much sparkle on the top, so it's more focused on the mids. And I think with the Explorer, because it has a little bit more wood, the frequency response is like a little bit wider.
Yeah.
So, but it's also a little bit more mid-focused than a Les Paul. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what I notice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And it looks super cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think this is cooler than the Explorer, to be fair.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet. But there's just a weird. I also love moderns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And I also love the Theodore. Like the new model they came out with. Everybody hates that model, but I just love it.
Yeah, I think it's cool as well, and it's good.
Super cool, yeah.
Have you seen the Victory?
No.
Oh, look it up at home. Maybe we can put a PNG of the Gibson Victory.
Looking forward to it now. Yeah, super cool. So let's move on to the last guitar that I brought. This is just a super cool one, and it's this one actually has Brazilian rosewood. I know it for sure. Yeah. It's a super cool Harmony H49. The Stratotone is a super cool one, and it has like the vintage gold foils in it, and it's a kind of rare one because it has like the flame maple top, and most of them have spruce top.
Yeah.
And
is it chambered as well?
It's hollow.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hollow.
Yeah.
So, and it has like the sunburst back, and it's completely original, and it's.
I love all the tortoise as well. More tortoises, more better.
Cool. Super cool, and I use it for slide, and it's just a super cool guitar. So those are the guitars.
Okay.
Shall we move on to?
Yeah. Would you mind maybe not going in depth on all the pedals by themselves, but what's the thought process behind this board? What do you need? What are you looking for?
Well, the thing I really need is a gold chromatic Boss tuner. That's like the most epic part of my pedal board. And
is it custom?
Well, a good friend of mine, Philip Schrijver, he customized it for me, my old tuner. Damn. And he did a really great job, and it's like he copied like the fonts and stuff, and it's just really funny. And
he painted that on there as well?
Yeah, and it's custom made for. It says custom made for Leif De Leeuw somewhere, and it's super cool with the font. So I'm really proud of that one. And then for me, it's like I want to have like a slightly dirty sound from the amps. So what I do, I use mostly boosters. So
instead of overdrives or
so I have my clean sound will be like this. That's like overdriven.
Clean. Yeah.
It's clean. And then what I do, I have 2 gain stages, and that's like the RC booster, and it's just it adds a little bit of gain and a lot of volume, so it will be. It will be like that, and then the second gain stage will be like a little bit more of an overdrive. It's a Nordland ODRC, and it's I think the guy who made it, it's like the guy who built like the Nashville Nobles pedals.
Oh yeah,
he's the designer of those pedals, and he has his own company, and he
okay.
And he has like a version out with more knobs, and that's this one, and it's super. It sounds really cool, and I just love it, and it sounds like this. And then after that one, I have just a line. It's also a boost, but it's a line driver. So I kick that one in for like solo. So it will be a little bit more gain, a little bit more volume. Super.
That's good.
So the volumes are actually pretty drastic, like volume-wise, but that's because I'm pushing the amps. So there will be more distortion from the amps and a little bit from the pedals. Then I have some delay pedals, and the thing that I do with my signal chain, I always have like the Strymon Deco. I have it on like the tape saturation side, and that's like my magic pedal. So I don't know what I'm doing without it. Like like what I have to. This is without it. With it on. So it makes it a little richer.
Yeah.
A little
clearer as well, I feel like.
A little bit better, I believe. So that's really cool. And then I'm using, like I said earlier, I'm using 2 amps. I have my Tube King Vibrolux amp, I believe it's based on. It's a 12 watt little amp with a 10-inch speaker, a Weber speaker. It sounds really cool, and it's there's no reverb on this amp, so it's dry. Yeah. And then the other amp that I use is my 1960 Pro amp, and it has an old Janssen speaker in it. It's brown face. It's super cool. It sounds amazing. It's probably my best sounding amp.
Don't even use the vibrato channel then.
No, because it has the beautiful harmonic tremolo in there. Okay. But the channel is a little bit softer, and it's less usable live. But what I do with this amp, I have the reverb tank on it. So this is a little Tube King reverb tank that I put that I have just on the brown face. And so one amp has like the reverb and the other one doesn't. So our sound engineer, he can switch it around a little bit. If I'm playing like a fast solo or something like that, he can, with a lot of attack, he can switch to the amp without reverb.
So he doesn't always use both at once. He'll switch it up.
He mostly uses, he has them both on, but he can accentuate a little bit with it. So that's up to him. And for this tour, it just really works. It's it sounds really incredible, and especially like the vintage brown face with the little tweet, it just sounds amazing. It's super cool.
Thanks, Leif, for walking us through your rig.
You're welcome.
Let's go to Sam now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, guys. So now we're with rhythm guitarist and singer Sem Janssen. Would you mind taking us through your guitars first?
Yeah.
Starting with this Lovely mini humbucker.
This is the Gibson Les Paul. I think it's from 72 or 73. I'm looking at Leif. He mostly knows this stuff. I'm saying 72. 72. It's probably 72. Yeah.
Drop it in the comments.
It has mini humbuckers, and it just works. It has a little bit of a lower output than the SG that I'm playing, but I mostly just start the show on this one and
see where you go.
Yeah, it works. It has. Nice and warm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like mini humbuckers as well.
Yeah, it works definitely. Yeah, I'm sometimes struggling with the output. That's a little bit lower than that one, but this one I can just put the volume down if I need to. So yeah, and the same thing as Leif is doing. I'm always playing with the decal on, and that has a volume knob. So sometimes when I'm getting into trouble, I just switch it back a little bit when I take the SG, and then it's fixed basically.
Why do you go for the wraparound on the bridge? There's a specific reason? Besides from it looking cool?
Yes, I started doing that. I don't remember actually why I did it. It had a problem, and then Leif said you should wrap it around, and then the problem was fixed. But I don't know what the problem was.
Can't remember either.
I don't remember. I don't know, but it works.
So we're gonna stop looking at Leif?
Yes, I should probably stop doing it and see if the problem comes back. But it had a problem, like something with the. I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah. No idea.
I think I remember.
Do you know?
It was something with the string tension that it felt a little bit stiff, the guitar.
Yeah.
And if you wrap it like this, the string tension feels a little bit less stiff.
Yeah, you have less of a break angle as well. Yeah. So
I don't remember. I just know that it was fixed. That I was like, oh, this is actually better. I remember there were also some things that weren't quite working when I was playing the twin leads way up high. That it was like, I don't know, it was too floppy, and I was like, maybe I should. I remember. I was thinking maybe I should put the action up. And then Leif was like, no, I don't think that's gonna fix it. That's just gonna make it harder to play. Yeah. And then I did it this way, and it was actually fixed.
Nice.
So yeah, it works.
Cool.
Yeah.
Onto the SG?
Yep, definitely. You want to hear that one as well?
Yeah. Oh, yes, please.
It's way louder. That's the biggest difference.
Is it a 60s?
No. It's a pretty cheap one that I bought on
Looks
Marketplace.
pretty convincing.
I know, because we ordered all the right stuff to make it look like it was 60s.
Okay.
But the body is actually, I think I paid like 700 euros for it.
Damn.
And then I put Monty's pickups in it, and I ordered all the hardware, and
You put in the hard work.
So I put in the hard work. Now it looks cool and it sounds nice and it's very usable. So that's. It isn't tuned.
You had a gold tuner.
Yeah, I actually have a really special pedal because it's a white Boss tuner, and I'm the only one in the band that has that one. So it's really special. It's really special. It has the orange letters. It's
damn. Yeah.
Boss made it custom for me. So
the 2012 limited run.
It's very cool. It's very cool. Yeah, it sounds nice, and it has like. Can move the neck around really well, so it's very usable. I mostly use it for the end of the show because it's like way louder than that one. And it's a little bit more when I play up high. It gets way more twangy than this one does. So I'm not always looking for that, but in certain songs it definitely works.
Do you use the tremolo arm at all?
No, not that much. Also because I don't quite need it, because you can do it with the neck already.
Yeah.
I really sometimes use it. I firstly put it on there because the headstock was heavy, so it kept going like this, and this kind of like balances it out. Yeah. And I just think it looks cool. Yeah. I'm sometimes thinking about if it does or doesn't work, because I do have some tuning problems with this guitar. So I'm sometimes thinking like maybe I shouldn't have it on, but most of the time when I tune it before a song, I'm okay.
It's the charm of these old things, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it looks really cool.
It looks killer.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so that's the SG.
Cool.
And then I have the Dan Electro. Today I brought this one. It is a refinish, but it's an old one from the 60s, and I use it mainly for some songs that just have a rhythm part. I have it tuned one step down, it has flat one strings, so it's more like a vibe.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know if you want to hear it. It sounds different.
Oh, I'd like hearing it. Should I hold it for you? Don't think I've ever seen a Dan Electro with such a Western strap.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty cool, actually.
It's a really weird combination. But it works. I sometimes also see people looking at this guitar when I'm playing it live, and they're like, what's this?
Did you get this
Why
at
don't
Lidl?
you have a Gibson? Yeah, at the Lidl.
It's great.
Yeah, it works. I wouldn't play a solo on it, but it definitely works. Yeah. So that's the guitars that I use mainly.
Cool. Would you mind running us through your board as well?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to take the Les Paul for that because it's not really going to work on this one. Can I give you this? I already told you about the tuner, so that's not really something special. And then I mainly use, I've been kind of switching the pedal board around for the last couple months, trying some things out. But mostly I use an overdrive and a booster. That's the things that I use most.
Yeah.
I used to have a Vemuram that I would use.
Yeah?
And I've recently switched it around for the Nordland that Leif had, because he once told me, like, you should try this, like play on my guitar and see how it feels. And I used to have this problem of whenever we would go into a twin lead, I would kind of like miss the sustain, and the guitar wasn't really singing the way that I heard Leif's guitar sing, you know? And then I tried his Nordland pedal, and I was like, whoa, this is exactly what I'm missing.
Yeah.
So then I saw it online and I was like, let's just get it and see if it works. I think I've only used it for 2 shows now, but I'm definitely happy with it.
Are you going to use it tonight, though?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mainly use it for whenever I play a twin lead. So not when I'm just playing rhythm guitar. Then I mostly use nothing, only the deco. And sometimes if I need a little bit more, I use the RC booster or this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I use mostly. And then I just have some fun stuff.
Yeah.
That's basically
What about the warm bender? That one throws me off a little.
Yeah, I also bought it recently to try it out. There's not a lot of place where I can use it, because if I'm playing rhythm guitar and I'm doing that, it's like way too much.
Yeah.
So I now sometimes use it whenever we have like a really heavy song. We have a couple of those in the set, and then if we do something like a twin lead or at the end of the song when the whole band's going crazy, then I can use it a little bit. But I don't use it a lot actually. And then I just have a slapback delay that I use for some songs. I use this one pretty much. It's a tremolo and pen pedal, and I use it on stereo amps.
Oh,
so you
nice.
can. That's like one of my favorite sounds. So I really like that. I'm also looking if I can find something that's like a harmonic tremolo that you can have stereo. I do know that there are some of those, but I actually really like the sound that it has, the one that I'm having now. So I use this a lot.
Well, don't change your winning team then.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. You can always just keep buying stuff, but at some point,
well, that's why we exist.
That's why you exist. Yeah. You always think like, oh, this is working. Maybe I can find something even better.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm really happy with this one. I use it a lot actually, and then I recently bought the Deja Vibe, just to have like some extra vibes. You know? So whenever I'm using this one,
It's in stereo as well.
it's a bit different. No, it's not in stereo. No, it's just what this thing does.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds nice. And then I have the deco, which is pretty much always on, and which also gives me the option of changing the volume a little bit, which I sometimes need for the SG. Yeah, that's basically all the stuff that I use. Yeah, and then it goes to the stereo amps. I've also switched that around quite recently because I used to play a Deluxe Reverb and a Princeton. And I really like that setup actually, but I also like to have an amp that already has a little bit of drive when I'm not using any pedals.
Yeah.
And the Deluxe really had to have a high volume to do that, which was driving the bass guy crazy. No, it was just a little bit too loud or too clean.
Yeah.
So then I bought this Sur Hombre, which has a lot of drive even on a low volume.
Yeah.
So that really works for when we're not playing rooms that are really big. And that one is connected to the reverb tank, just like Live uses it. And then I have the Princeton, and that doesn't have a reverb.
Tube King as well.
That's a Tube King as well. Yeah.
So you're just getting the reverb from here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it actually, and it works. So I'm really happy with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you play us out? Do you have a little jingle?
Have a little jingle.
Do a little bit. Wow. Yeah.
Whoa, I'm thinking of something. What do we have?
We play a little twin lead.
Oh, which one do we have? We have like the...
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And see you in the next one. Thanks, everybody, for watching / listening to this rather special version of the Leif De Leeuw podcast. Or is it still called the Leif De Leeuw podcast, by the way?
I guess it's still
We still don't have a name.
Yeah, so just send names, everyone.
Please.
Because we need a lot of names. Because the Leif De Leeuw podcast sounds boring. Season 5.
But the Leif De Leeuw band definitely isn't boring. Check them out on probably every streaming service you can find.
Yep.
Go to a show for sure. And
get some free stickers at our shows, because we have a lot of stickers. Go get some stickers, folks.
See you in the next one.